I wrote down, I was like, do I like 7 teams right now?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down Buffalo, Philly, Jacksonville, Green Bay, and Tampa, because I still think Tampa's D and they'll get their receivers back. They're fine. Baltimore, just because it feels like Lamar might be putting together something special.
Mm-hmm.
And then either Miami or KC for that last spot. And I don't know how that one plays out yet. The lack of firepower, I didn't like Mahomes yelling at Bieniemy today, combined with the lack of firepower, made me nervous. I just didn't feel like they had the swagger.
Yeah, well, he needs to settle into a receiver at this point, right? Well, I guess it's only 3 weeks, but you get excited about like a Valdez Scantling, like, oh, that's not the answer. He can't be happy with these guys, right?
The guys weren't open. It was like we were watching the Vegas game, and Adams had like 35 yards or less twice in 3 games, which has happened like only a couple times in his career in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually watch the game, it didn't seem like he was open that much. It didn't really seem like all of these vaunted Vegas targets were open. It was the same thing for KC. I didn't really feel like there was one play where Schuster got open and he went for like 50 yards. But for the most part, it felt like the guys were covered all over the place.
I mean, it's all around. It's an epidemic. Like, look at Jamar Chase, right? Like that guy can't get open. My guy, CeeDee Lamb, can't get open. I'm not sure. They didn't change the rules, did they? The defense is just like stepping up, or is it too hot out? Like, is it all these factors that amount to like what seems like a touchdown less per game?
Chris Olave got open.
He did.
Like, bunch of targets today.
Yeah.
The Vegas game, they were 1 for 12 on 3rd down.
Wow.
Our friend Hench gleefully texted this because him and I have complained a lot about McDaniels the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And McDaniels is now 5-20 in his last 25 games.
Closed door meeting with Al Davis after the game, a long one, they said.
They exhumed him? How did they find Al Davis?
Yeah. That's it. That's the punishment.
Mark
you
Davis?
have to be with Al Davis. No, no, they dug him up. Yeah, no, Mark Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 2 winless teams yet. Vegas and Houston, and Houston has a tie. So Vegas is the only 0-3 team left in the entire league.
I know, but they're good. I
know. I'm with you.
I'm an idiot. I picked them to be in first place in the West, but they you don't want to say should be 3-0, but they're in every game. They're just one of these jackass teams that can't get it together, I don't think.
Well, where did this Hollins guy come from that was catching everything today?
Mac Hollins? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. How much you bidding on him in a FAA?
Did you see when they got the touchdown that brought them to within 2 and then they missed the 2-point, but it was like 4th and 10. And they just threw it over to him. He was blanketed and he just did like the Calvin Johnson. All right, I'll just catch this with this guy hanging all over me. It was really nice. Yeah, he'll go for like $40 in our league.
He has as many targets as Devontae Adams today.
You make a good point about Vegas. It's weird. They're 0-3 and I'm not totally panicking for really anybody yet. Because even you look at the parity, you look at the standings and like everybody's 2-1 or 1-2. So how can you even be out of it?
I mean, I'm biased because, like I said, I had very high hopes for them, and my money followed those high hopes. But I think they're better than several 2-win teams. Like I think they're better than Cleveland. They're definitely better than the Bears. I don't know what would happen. We'll see with the Giants. I don't know. And then and Denver, they play Denver next week. I think they're better than them.
Well, let's do AFC teams.
Yeah.
Well, like just if you had to say making the playoffs, we have no idea. It's week 3. A million things can change, but I'd put Miami and Buffalo in there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the AFC West teams, Jacksonville, and probably Baltimore. And I think there's a bunch of spots. There's 2 wild card spots open. And technically, you could argue the AFC West is open because the Chargers are having this season from hell. It's not there yet, but it's starting to edge towards season from hell possibilities with them. Like Bosa limps off with the groin injury in the first quarter. Allen's already missed 2 games. Guyton looked like something terrible happened to him today. It looked like it was an Achilles or something.
The coach and the doctor are trying to kill the star quarterback.
Right. He's like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. And Staley, below 500 now as a coach? Or 500? What were they last year? 9-8?
Is he right there?
They were 9-8, right? Yeah, so he's 500.
They win 10 games. They might have won 10. Oh, no, they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah. I think they were 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, Philly, Green Bay.
Well, but back to the AFC. Like it's weird that we're 3 weeks in and we're like, yeah, there's only going to be one AFC West team. But I think you're right. Out of Denver, the Raiders, and the Chargers. But I guess
we might get
the
two.
Chiefs are going to.
There might be two.
No, but one of those has to win 10 games. I don't know if they get to 10-7.
I think Miami and Buffalo, unless something stupid happens, I think those are both playoff teams. I was really impressed by Miami's defense today, even though I know they gave up 90 plays.
Right.
And Buffalo left a lot on the table, but I thought they pressured Allen. I thought they made him work. I thought they did a pretty good job of covering the receivers. It was okay. Like they were doing a lot of gimmick stuff, a lot of blitzing. But they hung around. They gave themselves a chance.
Yeah, they
to
handled
win.
the heat for 90 plays. That's commendable.
Yeah, and then on the NFC side, even if you put the Eagles in, let's say Green Bay, Tampa, I don't even know who you're taking out of the NFC West. Maybe the Rams, but it's like the Rams have shown a ton. I like the way Carolina's playing. I know I'm in on them every week, but I think their defense is good. Their defense was really good again today. I think that's one of those teams.
Yeah.
When the advanced metrics start coming, like really start to get good around week 6, week 7, I think that's going to be a team that's going to be like in the top 10 or 12 by all these different numbers. People are going, but boy, that's weird. Why is Carolina in there? But they're in on. They easily could be 3-0.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. The Saints score and then they come right back. Like Baker, like that was an important drive for them, right? Because you don't want them to be, if they're 0-3, we're not having this conversation.
They have a bunch of playmakers on D too, and they seem like no matter how shaky Baker looks from game to game, they always get like 2 plays. They get like 2 long plays, and McCaffrey's made it 3 games without getting hurt. Yeah, to me, the Minnesota looks fraudulent, and then I think tomorrow we'll find out with your team because your team should beat the Giants tomorrow.
I think so too.
The Giants should not go 3-0.
Oddly confident. Yeah, I really am because the Giant fans are really, really confident. We were talking to Schrager. It's like even the cops in the area walking with a swagger and everything. Like, yeah, all right, this is where we pounce here. But, the Eagles and Bucks are tied now odds-wise to win the NFC. Just like that.
Makes sense. I think the Eagles, every
and
game.
Bucks, like the Bucks lost today.
I know, but their defense is really good, and they were missing their top 3 receivers.
Yeah, I know.
There's 3 plus 30 point differential teams. Buffalo's plus 53, Jacksonville's plus 46, and Philly's plus 36. And you think like, if Wentz doesn't hit 2 bombs in that Jacksonville game, he needed to hit both. Jacksonville's 3-0.
Right.
And we're like, holy shit, are we going to get Buffalo and Jacksonville in the finals?